Game 2 from the South region, Greenville, South Carolina. Number 15, Florida Atlantic, and the second seed Alabama Crimson Tide. We've already seen one basket from Irwin Dudley, who is the big player for Crimson Tide, as good as there comes in the Southeast Conference, John.
Well, player of the year in the SEC, this Alabama squad has been powerful, and they are strong.
Brizard, Dudley, Walker, Meade, and Mo Williams for Alabama. Raheem Brown, Gardner, Dingle, Smart, Cowens, all for Florida Atlantic, a school of 25,000 in Boca Raton, Florida. Their first ever NCAA tournament appearance. And a turnover right there, and Brown picks it up.
Well, they're tenacious on the defensive end. Sidney Green, their coach, has really put together a ball club that he wants them to understand the defensive side of things. Offensively, they can get in the flow. It's the number 2 seed versus a number 15 seed. It has happened in the past. It happened a year ago. Hampton knocking off Iowa State. Alabama down the stretch in the SEC had 2 ball games. At Ole Miss and against Mississippi State in the championship game of the tournament, where they scored under 60 points. Sidney Green has a feeling about his ball club. They think they can keep them low scoring and have a chance to win.
Dudley, junior from Uniontown, Alabama, with a miss, and Raheem Brown already making his presence felt. Brown, and inside to Williams.
Robert Williams, a game-winning free throw against Georgia State in the Atlantic Sun Conference Tournament.
And pickpocketed by Gardner. He flies the other way for 2, and it's quickly a 6-2 lead for Florida Atlantic.
Great start by the Owls. They will rotate 3 different point guards to defend the freshman Mo Williams, to bother him, to harass him. Mo Williams has had a brilliant freshman season.
Brizard had it rejected by Brown. And out of bounds, 16 seconds on the shot clock. Owls will inbound.
In St. Louis, Missouri, the Edward Jones Dome, as we're on our way, the road to the Final Four, Game 2 of today's action. And the winner to meet Kentucky, will it be the 12th seed, the Tulsa Golden Hurricane, or the Golden Eagles of Marquette? It'll be a golden time for the winner, to be sure, and there's Kentucky waiting for the winner, that game to be played on Saturday. Dick Enberg along with Matt Gukas. Welcome to Game 2 of our
third year. They have had 2 previous years, 2-28 as a record, and then last year 7-24. John, this year 19-11 in the Atlantic Sun Conference. And there you take a look at Mark Gottfried in his 4th year.
Shot clock down to 12. Hicks defended by
80s.
Back in 1987, along the ball club, we went to the Sweet 16. Lost to Providence, coached by Rick Pitino. Billy Donovan, the star for Providence back then. Last team to win the SEC for Alabama, 1987 ball club, until this year. Tip in, no, they're not going to count.
Raheem Brown had his hands inside the cylinder. He is a transfer from South Florida.
Florida Atlantic has come out attacking. Yeah, good call, partner.
Smart is on Mo Williams, the Southeast Conference Freshman of the Year. Drives on Smart, kicks it back to Meade, open for 3. Rebound by Williams.
Williams has a terrific feel and presence.
Williams off to Kenny Walker, and tapped up and in nicely by Irwin Dudley. He's got 4.
Dudley is a low down low, 6'8", 240. The big games down the stretch, the SEC play, he came up low.
Robert Williams grinding inside. Look at all the white jerseys of Alabama around him. Yet Johnny still got off a couple shots.
Well, some people will be surprised that this Florida Atlantic team is going to come out and can rebound with this team, but Sidney Green not surprised. Talking to him yesterday in the practice, he has a belief, he has a feel, he's confident about his kids, and nothing they have done surprises him.
Dudley held. Robert Williams picks up the Florida Atlantic foul. Sidney Green was an All-American UNLV and trying to pass it on to his Owls.
Namaka. Henry fires from 3. Rattled out, and here comes Tulsa. Harrington with a rebound. And deflected by Langston, but saved by Tulsa. Nice move inside, and Johnson is denied. Langston the other way. Henry, he's not bashful.
He's going to come out looking for his offense. He has to be aggressive because then he starts to draw the defense to him, and that's when he can get his teammates involved.
Swanson inside to Kevin Johnson. Antonio Reed for 3, and Tulsa leads 3-2.
It seems like everybody on this Tulsa club can knock down the three-point shot with some kind of efficiency. You can see how Marquette, concerned about Henry and his penetration primarily. They don't mind seeing him take those outside shots. They just don't want to let him get into the lane.
Wade with the turnover for Marquette, so Tulsa with a 3-2 edge. Just underway. Good handling of the ball by Dante Swanson. Reed, same spot, 2 for 2, and 6 quick points for Antonio Reed. Reed averaging 10 a game. Starts with 6 in the first minute and a half. And caught with a foul. Harrington and Reed were both there.
While Antonio Reed getting off hot, shooting just under 40% from beyond the arc, feeling very comfortable out on that wing. As Marquette a little bit slow getting out there. You don't really have to worry about much of an inside post game, so you got to stay out on the perimeter.
Greg Harrington with a foul on that last play. The runner way off the mark. Merritt inside to clean it up. The 6'10 center makes it 6-4 Tulsa.
I think that was a pass. He is really adept at making that little tough shot on the move, those little 10, 12 footers, which are so difficult for most players. That one missed the basket by about 4 feet long. He usually shoots them dead on, coming right down the middle of the lane.
Oh, you shooters all say that.
Well, don't look at me.
You never passed it.
Reed outside to Swanson. Davis turns down the 3. Reed, a Tulsa native, number 3, and it's appropriate. He's got 2 threes already.
A matchup zone here for Marquette, and Greg Harrington, the senior, heady floor player, pulling it back out, trying to figure out how they want to attack this.
Harrington's first shot just beats the buzzer, but doesn't connect. And Wade with a rebound. Wade yet to take a shot. A reminder that Davidson Ohio State game out in Albuquerque will begin shortly. We'll be switching some of our audience out to that action. Tip at 3:25 Eastern. This is Wade. What a year he's had. And he nails his first attempt. And it's tied at 6. Rebound by Wade.
What a beautifully constructed athlete he is. What just the ideal basketball body. Lean but muscular, and he's fast, he's strong, and great compliment to this team. Tom Preen says, "He's what a terrific young guy to coach."
A lot of college recruiters missed the boat on this young man. He had some academic difficulties, and teams didn't want to wait a year for him. Tom Preen said, "Hey, we'll wait. We'll certainly be willing to take a chance on you." And he gained so much last year by sitting out and practicing with the team. He always played the role, obviously, of the other team's best player. So he got a lot of touches. He got a lot of play.
And Crane said, and it shows you the wisdom of this young coach, after all their away games last year, they would call home and tell Wade how they did and include him. Of course, he couldn't travel with the team, and so he felt a part of the unit even though he was sitting out the season.
Tied at 6. Reed has it stripped away, and a battle. The little guy Henry and Johnson go diving, and it belongs to Tulsa.
Dick Enberg almost headed for the exit right here as a couple of aggressive players diving for the loose ball.
He'd been a foot farther. I could have shaken his hand underneath here.
I'm going to have to get a seatbelt for you.
Harrington.
And reaching in was Merritt. Scott Merritt with the foul. Or was it? Might have been the backside. Now Dwayne Wade is ticketed with his first foul, and Harrington to the line, senior from Carlton, Texas. All-time leader in assists with the Golden Hurricane. He's #6 scorer all time. Just a solid player, not spectacular, but does all the right things, and certainly is the mentally tough leader of this Tulsa team.
He has flipped back and forth between roles for Tulsa ever since he's been here. Do whatever the coach asks for him. He primarily would like to shoot the ball, but has turned into a very solid point guard that not only can score himself, but can deliver to his teammates. Plus, an excellent free throw shooter, led the Sun Belt in that category.
Deflected out of bounds on the defense by Antonio Reed. We're going to see our first substitute from John Phillips. He's going to bring in a big man shortly, Jack Ingram. He's 6'10". Wade back to Blankson for three. Odarte Blankson, the sophomore from Country Club Hills, Illinois. His first hoop and the first lead for Marquette. Check that, Marquette did score the first basket of the game. Harrington, short. Blankson with a rebound. Henry has Wade down court, and Wade can't hit the bank. And the reach-in foul will be against Charlie Davis of Tulsa.
And Dwayne Wade, extremely upset with himself. It's rare that you see that young man in the open floor or basically do anything going to the basket without trying to tomahawk that thing down. Has terrific lift and explosion around the basket. He just took off on that play. And of course, Cordell Henry, his backcourt mate, always looking up, trying to find Dwayne Wade.
Misses the free throw, averaging 69% on the season from the line, is the big man 6'10" Jack Ingram, a sophomore from San Antonio, replaces Charlie Davis. And Wade hits the second. Marquette enjoys a 10-8 lead. The scramble to advance is on in St. Louis, Missouri. Marquette by 2.
Court. Howard, a floater, gets the roll.
Howard with the soft touch and that pull-up jumper in the 7-foot range. A lot of times players will make a decision to go all the way on that type of play, and they'll run over a defensive player. Good decision, though.
Just when it looked like Pepperdine was going on a run, Wake Forest has extended the lead back to double figures.
And they will sit in this 2-3 zone. Gives a look of 2-1-2.
Brazel. Now they need that perimeter play. A 3-ball for Boomer Brazel.
What happened there was that Pepperdine can knock back a couple of shots like that. Defensively, Wake Forest will have to go out, respect the perimeter. That opens it up down low, but it also opens you up for dribble drives past the defender on the perimeter.
Howard open look, straight away, short. And it's rebounded by Lewis.
Here's what they like to do, push it, but Wake Forest with pretty good balance defensively.
McGowan steps into a 3, knocks it down.
Well, the beauty of the long ball, huh? Get you right back into the basketball game.
Sungaila firing it along the baseline, and now backed out by Dawson. 27-23. Back-to-back three-pointers for Pepperdine. Dawson lets it fly. Side of the rim. And out of bounds in the corner. 27-23. Wake Forest leading Pepperdine. Waves on a bit of a roll.
Temple, Notre Dame.
Meade picks up a foul here for Alabama. As they tried to maneuver in a three-point game. Meade is first. And this will send Andre Gardner, who is a junior from Decatur, Alabama, into the free throw circle.
I would expect he would love to win this one, huh?
He would.
For the folks back home.
Junior college transfer from Sacramento. Gets it. 11:27 to play in the first half. And bring back in Robert Williams. They take out Raheem Brown. Some pretty good improvement from year to year to year under Sidney Green.
After that first year, 2-28, a lot of those players did not return, and he needed players to fit his demanding, relentless attacking style. He's got confidence in his players. He sets the tone, though. He's got a great faith about himself and his coaching ability.
Garner makes it a 1-point game as 15th seeded Florida Atlantic within 1.
And Cincinnati have won more games the last 3 years than Tulsa.
Kind of amazing. You would never think of that. But this Tulsa team knocked out late last year in their conference tournament, knocked out.
The Pepperdine Waves missed their first 8 shots from the field. Since then, they've gone 8 of 12. Wake Forest has shot it well throughout, 53% overall. And this is a 4-point game.
And I'm not so sure, Ian, that Pepperdine has found the rhythm offensively, even though with those numbers that you indicated, the numbers alone would indicate that they've gotten better at finding the ball going through the hoop. But I think rhythm-wise, they're still searching a little bit out there. I would expect them to get better as this game progresses.
Pump fake by Lewis. And it's going the other way. An elbow. Cedric Suet had set the screen out front.
See, those are the types of fouls you must avoid, the big guys. I know there's a tendency to help out, and a big guy really wants to go out there and jump out. Obviously, no argument from Skip Prosser sees it go the other way. Skip
Prosser inherited a team with 5 seniors, good experience. You know, Prosser, he told us flat out it was a dream for him to coach in the ACC. It was going to take that kind of job to get him away from Xavier, a place he was very happy.
Plus, he mentioned also that he was thinking about it when he was in high school, even as a coach.
Songaila inside, no. Knocked around and a loose ball foul. Bodies flying. And cooler heads prevail as Miggins walks away along with Songaila.
I think Songaila maybe tagged with this foul over the top.
He did. That's number 2. And that's something that has plagued him throughout his time at Wake Forest. He has shattered the all-time record for personal fouls in Demon Deacon's history.
And what it does for them, and Skip Prosser understands it, is that it eliminates that offensive presence on the blocks for them that they dearly need.
Jimmy, both teams with 16 fouls right now. Under 6 minutes to go. Nearly a turnover. And it turns into a turnover. Here's Jamal Wood taking it to the rim.
Nice way to start his afternoon off, huh? Get a little battle for the basketball. It spits up, and then off you go all by yourself.
A freshman from Panama City. And he's been a contributor. Brazel. That pull-up doesn't go. And it's cleared out of there by Danilus, who's checked back in.
That'd be a factor defensively just then also on Brazel's left-handed shot. He jumped to the left side defensively. Good move to try to block the shot.
Wake Forest with a 6-point lead, spread the floor. Coming up on 5 minutes to go, first half. Inside, left, extra pass, and Danilus couldn't catch it, but Wake Forest fortunate to hold on to it.
Great spot to go if you're against a 2-3 defense. Just zip it to the foul line. It gives the foul line receiver a couple of options to shoot, drive, or pass left or right to the blocks.
Terrence Johnson has come back in, the freshman from Dallas, Texas for Pepperdine. Wake Forest looking to toss it in. They just do. Pull-up jump. Broderick Hicks buries it for 3.
This is the second time this afternoon, though, that Pepperdine has given up an open jump shot on the wing after the ball has been inbounds underneath their own basket. You just have to communicate better defensively.
Couple of turnovers for Pepperdine has turned into points for Wake Forest. They go back in front by 9. Just looking to settle in offensively. Pepperdine with Miggins off a double.
Really reacting well to Miggins.
Johnson can stroke it. No good for 3. Miggins inside, spinning. Brazel gets a layup, and that was set up by the play of Jimmy Miggins.
Sure was. The ability to go after the basketball, flat and simple. Miggins really went after that one when I thought he didn't have a chance of getting that on the baseline.
Songaila, kick out for Hicks, a jumper. Air ball. And it's rebounded by Miggins. Leads this team in scoring and rebounding. Dishing on a wing. Montgomery. Pull up, pop for 3.
Great job by Miggins again, though, running the break and where he stopped on the floor just then to avoid the charge. Get it to the spot, get it to the chest of the defender, stop, and then kick. It gives you wide open shots on the wing.
Montgomery, the high man for the Waves with 11. It's 32-28 Wake Forest. Under 4 minutes to go first half. Levy off the rim, no. Suet kept it alive and rebounded by Brazel.
Good tip right there. If you can't get the basketball, tip it to a teammate or tip it up so you can get it yourself.
Chipping away, Montgomery leaning in for the layup. Devin Montgomery gives up his body.
Did he ever look for Sungila that time to go after him and aggressively attack? Skip Prosser says, hey, it's time for us to talk things over.
A 7-0 Pepperdine run. This is a 2-point game, first half.
Consistent player, hard worker. Takes no days off or no plays off. 14 double-doubles on the season.
67% for the free throw line with the rebound pulled down by Garner. Alabama comes in 26-7, 12-4 in the Southeast Conference. Florida Atlantic 19-11. With an Atlantic Sun record of 13-7. Knocked away and stolen by the freshman Shelton. And back to Mo Williams, who just is off the Alabama bench. Picked up by Smart.
And the guy that makes this team go, Mo Williams, freshman.
Rebound by Smart. Williams has started 1 of 2. Look at Dingle fly the other way. And Raheem Brown follow.
Good hustle, good push up the floor. Dingle with a miss. But Brown with the finish.
Brown now has 4. He is 2 of 6. Dudley inside with an easy look at hook.
Florida Atlantic not intimidated. Standing toe-to-toe with the Crimson Tide.
Brown to Collins, screened by Smart. Williams picks up Smart. Brown over Kenny Walker.
Good box out.
Rebound by Dudley. Mo Williams. Shot from 3. Rebound pulled down by Brown. Rebounding in the game. Tied at 11. Brown is corralled 4. It's Collins with the 3 shot. Rebound by Mo Williams. Both teams at 42% shooting. Driving the other way is Mo Williams.
How quickly this Bama team can convert the defensive end, the offensive end, and put pressure on the Owl Ball Club.
Alabama's on a 9-2 run. They equal their biggest lead right now of 7, 26-19.
Three-point attempt is there, and for the first time in the game, one of the teams leads by more than a basket.
Well, that's David Diggs' specialty. He launched that outside shot. Going into that last timeout, Coach Tom Crean was upset with him for jumping in the air and turning the ball over.
Turnover, and Diener comes up with it. Diggs passed up that 3. Wade in traffic. Diener will reset the offense. Plenty of time, 18 on the shot clock. Diggs for 3 again, well short. Here comes Jason Parker and the Golden Hurricane.
The Tulsa wing players and point guards interchange so easily. Anybody basically can handle the ball in the middle of the floor, and basically anybody can play out on the wing, so they're tough to find in many cases.
John Harris with his first foul as Phillips sends out the call, and we follow every play from each game of the tournament with the updated scoreboards and game centers at cbs.sportsline.com or on America Online. Enter keyword CBS Sportsline. Team fouls. Marquette with 4 and Tulsa 4.
Marquette continues to mix it up defensively, try to give Tulsa some different looks to keep the rhythm tough for them.
Harrington, one of only 2 starters in the game for Tulsa, and here it's a tough little 8-footer. It's 18-15 Marquette. We're at the midpoint of the first 20-minute period, and out of bounds to Marquette. That'll allow leading scorer Kevin Johnson to return for the Golden Hurricane, and he replaces Marcus Ledoux. And Darte Blankson back in for Marquette. And Dwayne Wade will be given a breather by Tom Crean. Diener, a 3-point attempt. He hits it, but does it count? No. No basket. A foul called inside before the shot. Ted Valentine with a call that doesn't please Tom Crean.
Yeah, lots of physical play so far in the first half of this first half. So the quizzical look on the face of Tom Crean by that illegal pick call to free up Travis Diener.
Terry Sanders was whistled for the foul, and Sanders deflects that pass out of bounds. Number 40, Sanders, trying to find him. There he is.
Yeah, let's watch this pick out here right there and see if he is not still there. And it looked like he may have just stuck out that little chicken wing with the left arm to free up Diener.
And at the other end, Jason Parker hits his first three-point attempt, and we're even again at 18 with 9.5.
Greg Gumbel in New York will keep you updated on what's happening in St. Louis between Tulsa and Marquette. But those of you awaiting the next game from the pit in Albuquerque, Davidson getting set to take on Ohio State. We'll send you to Gus Johnson and Dan Bonner right after this.
Razzle hit the deck.
Westfall came very close to calling a timeout just then, Ian, because he wanted to get on the officials and get some clarification. He's still working. You see him on the sideline. He's barely looking at the game, way back against his bench. And the game plays on.
Hicks, a jumper. Danilou. He fired in. Vitas Danilou.
Now, whether the ball hit the clock or not is irrelevant at this particular point, because his team is having problems defending off the glass at their end of the floor.
Under 2 minutes to go first half. Montgomery fires it to the corner. Johnson on a bounce for Miggins. Miggins has had a tough time getting going. Jumper, Montgomery, no, and rebounded by Danilou.
Wake looking to extend this lead, taking control in the last 2 minutes or so.
Spread the floor. Danilou swings it for Hicks. Scott on a kick out.
There's a dead ball. I'd get Miggins out of this game.
Howard looking to break down the defense. Knocked around, controlled by Montgomery. Pepperdine is running. Wake gets back. Kick out. Brazel, a three. In and out. Rebounded by Seward. Turning on the baseline. That doesn't go. And knocked outside, controlled by Wake.
Warm and sunny day here in the West Albuquerque, New Mexico. We're ready for more NCAA tournament basketball from the pit in Albuquerque. Our second game of the day features Davidson versus Ohio State. And the bracket, the winner of this game will take on Missouri, who defeated Miami earlier today. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Gus Johnson along with Dan Bonner.
38-31, Wake Forest leading Pepperdine, and during that timeout, Paul Westphal was still barking at the officials regarding the ball that did clearly hit the shot clock.
I think with the experiences of Paul Westphal, a couple of things are probably going through his mind. The work the official and wonder why they missed that particular play, but also the work the officials also for future calls.
Paul Westphal has inserted his son, Mike Westphal, who can shoot it from long range, a junior. And at the free throw line, Cedric Seward. 48% on the season. As that foul was assessed to Josh Howard, 18 fouls on Wake Forest. And a substitution, Jamal Levy checks in.
And also at the other end, Paul Westphal took the opportunity to put his son in and also get Miggins out of this basketball game. That's a very good move at the under 1 minute mark. You don't want to take any chances at all. It'll take you right out of your game in the second half if you pick up a needless third foul. 2
out of 2 for Seward. 38-33, Wake Forest in front. 40 seconds to play, first half.
All things considered, Pepperdine has hung around pretty well here in the first half.
Agreed. 10-second differential, shot clock to game clock. Levy puts it on the floor. Danilou asking for it.
Tough guy to go up against.
And knocked away by Montgomery. Finds Westphal for the layup.
Good use of the left hand just then also by Westphal. Get out, get your shoulders in front, and lay that ball in and scoop with the left to avoid the deflection.
3-point game. 8 seconds to go until halftime. Hicks, stop and go. Off penetration, nice spin move. Tried to put it up with the left hand, blocked away. And there's the buzzer. After a slow start, Pepperdine came alive offensively. Paul Westphal, you could tell he is still steam, but right now Wake Forest does have the lead. Let's throw it over to Dwayne. Dwayne, coach, thank you. End of the first half, Wake Forest 38. Pepperdine 35. Coming up next, singular at the half after these messages and a word from your local station.
Jump shot is off the mark for Pearson. Here's Darby straight away. Rims around and off. Pearson with the rebound.
Darby has scored in double figures in 14 of his last 16.
Booker on the break.
We mentioned that Davidson not noted for its offensive explosion. They only average 70 points a game, but Booker is a guy who likes to get out and run, and Davidson will take the opportunity break. This man-to-man defense by Davidson, they don't really harass the ball. They play position defense. They're going to try to prevent Ohio State from penetrating to the inside.
Zach Williams across the lane.
Davidson is a team that's going to run the opportunity break. Ohio State, all 5 guys standing at the mid-court line, jogging back on defense, and that's not going to get it done against the guy who can run the court like Booker.
So here comes a sub into the game for Davidson. Emeka Orege, a senior from Nigeria, one of the inspirational players on their team, also averages close to 14 points per game.
Orege has had a career at Davidson where he's been plagued by injuries. This season no different, but he is the best player that Davidson has.
Williams pivots on the baseline. Radinovic has it blocked by Edez. Williams with the rebound. Jump ball the call, and it favors the wild catch from Davidson. So Bob McKillop, here's an interesting story for you, Danny. Bob McKillop and Jim O'Brien, both from Brooklyn, both played high school basketball against each other. The first time they've met in a long time. I won't even tell you how many years. Orege driving baseline, forces it up and in.
And that's what Orege gives this Davidson team, a real athletic presence. He and Bernard, a couple of guys who can really get to the basket.
Savovic.
First round action continues this first day of the NCAA tournament. Clark Kellogg and I will bring you all the scores and highlights.
CBS Sports presents Singular at the Half, sponsored by Singular, the wireless company that supports self-expression nationwide.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our studios here in New York and to Singular at the Half. I'm Greg Gumbel, along with Clark Kellogg. Our score at halftime, Wake Forest with a 3-point lead over Pepperdine. The score is 38-35, and Pepperdine has come back strong.
They really have. They've made 3-point shots, and their defense has picked up as we take a look at 2 of the key players in this game. Devin Montgomery, you see 3 of 6 from 3-point land, as is Craig Dawson. 2 key guys for their respective teams having good first halves.
All right, Clark, the winner of that game will play the winner of the Oregon-Montana game to follow. Meanwhile, first round action in the East in St. Louis. Marquette with a 3-point lead over the Golden Hurricane of Tulsa in a closely contested first half game. Dick Enberg and Matt Kukas are there.
Marquette, the 5th seed, leading Tulsa 24-21. Closely contested first half. The biggest lead for Tulsa 4, biggest for Marquette 5. It's been tied countless times. And here's Antonio Reed, leading scorer for Tulsa. He has 3 threes, tries to go inside and draws the foul. Block on number 34, John Harris. Kentucky defeating Valparaiso 83-68 earlier here in St. Louis. And this is the Eastern bracket. We also have Midwestern action later tonight, featuring the number 1 seed in the Midwest, the Kansas Jayhawks. And a lot of pressure. Roy Williams everywhere you go. Front page. Will Roy Williams, one of the great coaches of his time, finally win a national title? It all begins tonight.
Oh, you'd like to have his weapons coming in. It's a fabulous basketball team right now, and I think everybody in the field certainly fears their talent, and when they are on top of their game, very, very difficult to deal with.
Reed now leading Tulsa with 11 points, and he pulls the Golden Hurricane within 1. Marquette a bit better from the field. Good work against the press. Townsend unable to connect, just into the game. Todd Townsend, and here comes Tulsa seeking the lead. Reed throws it away. Townsend with the interception. Henry, end-to-end action. Wade deflected by Antonio Reed, but then he picks up the foul. His target was a little too tall, couldn't quite up and get up that high limb.
You know, Dick, the players are playing at such a fast pace that it's very difficult to pass and catch at times when you're moving that quickly. They got to slow down just a tad.
Townsend and Harris go out for Marquette. And back in is Travis Diener, along with starter Oluma Namaka. Merritt, one of the few opportunities for him. And out of the pack comes Antonio Reed, trailing by 1. Reed around Diener. Rebound Merritt, no whistle. They're letting it play.
Tulsa Marquette continues to be a closely contested matchup. They're inside of 5 minutes to play in the first half. The winner gets Kentucky. In Greenville, South Carolina, Florida Atlantic on a 12-0 run has now grabbed a 3-point lead on second seed Alabama. Let's take you to Greenville and join Kevin Harlan and John Sunvold.
A developing story in Greenville, South Carolina. 15th seeded Florida Atlantic on a 14-0 run on top of the second seed Alabama Crimson Tide. How have the Owls gotten to where they are, John?
9 turnovers by Alabama. They had 5 straight possessions. They don't even get a shot up. Florida Atlantic knocks in a couple of jump shots. Confidence is high. Sidney Green rotating fresh bodies, so on defensive end they have been active.
Both teams shooting about 45%. No one is in double figures. 2.5 to play in the half.
Bama getting caught sitting on the ball too much bounce, not enough passing.
Deceptive move by the freshman Mo Williams to get the open jumper.
Good things happen when the ball is in Mo's hands.
Demetrius Smith has come back in the game for the Crimson Tide. Florida Atlantic, a school in Boca Raton, Florida.
Crumley with a lot of confidence at the point guard position this afternoon.
The Owls making their first ever NCAA tournament appearance. Stevens to Newman, the 7-footer. Oh! He has come off the bench to put in 9.
Spacing, ball movement, penetration, knocking in open shots. After a cold start, the Owls of Florida Atlantic now shooting 47% from the field.
Smith to Williams into the Southeast Conference Player of the Year, Irwin Dudley. And fouled on the play by Newman. And he picks up his first of the game. Look at the Southeast Conference Coach of the Year for Alabama. Mark Gottfried in his 4th year.
And if there's a number 2 seed that could stub their toe, Alabama down the stretch scored under 60 points a couple times. They don't shoot it well and they turn it over. This Florida Atlantic team is ready for a win.
Free throw shooting this afternoon. 7 of 8 for Alabama. 4 of 4 for Florida Atlantic. Follow every play from each game of the tournament. Updated scoreboards and game centers at CBS.sportsline.com or on America Online. Enter keyword CBS Sportsline. With John Sunvold and Spencer Tillman, Kevin Harlan.
Worth remembering, a year ago, 15th seed Hampton knocked off number 2 seed Iowa State. Florida Atlantic with a 2-point lead under a minute and a half to play. And in Albuquerque, New Mexico, Davidson early on with a 2-point lead on the Buckeyes of Ohio State. We remind you, next round of games coming your way in the South. Charlotte against 8th seed Notre Dame. Wyoming meets Gonzaga in the West. In the Midwest, top seed Kansas will face Holy Cross. And in the South, UNC Wilmington against USC. That'll do it for now. Thank you for joining us on Singular at the Half. We'll send you back to Sacramento for the second half right after this.
CBS Sports presents Singular at the Half. Sponsored by Singular, the wireless company that supports self-expression nationwide.
Yep. Meade, Dudley, Smith all in for Alabama with Petway and Mo Williams. What a great drive down the lane by Andre Garner. It's 40-36 with a half minute to play in the first half.
Brown's got to give Petway some space now. Back up a little bit.
Petway weaving inside.
Good play.
What a shot.
And it all caused because Brown at 6'10", too close to Petway outside. Should have backed up. Used his reach to get into a shot line, and Petway wanted to take a jumper. 15 seconds now left in the first half. High screen and roll. Crumley has knocked in a couple bombs.
Crumley against Petway. Raheem Brown. Caught by Mo Williams as he collides and falls, and a traveling violation on Williams. And .4 left on the first half clock. Plenty of time to shoot.
Got to be a quick one, obviously.
Alabama's 10 turnovers, John, a huge factor in this game.
Mo Williams surprised on that one. Thought he was undercut, which he was.
Crumley, Stevens, nope, did not get it off.
Great half.
Nonetheless, a stunning halftime score. Sidney Green, the former All-America at UNLV, has his 15th seeded Owls on top of the 2 seed Alabama. Let's go to Spencer. A 21-8 run by Florida Atlantic to end the first half. With the score 40-38 Florida Atlantic. We'll continue after this message and a word from your local station.
Team. He's turned into a fine player for this Davidson squad. Savovich to Brown off of a screen. It's a brick. Loose inside. Williams pump fake. Can't get it to fall. Edens with the rebound.
That was great. A great job inside by Connor Grace to pressure that shot, force the miss without getting a foul.
Edens, the kick. Grace. Altanella backs it up, resets the offense. 17 to shoot. Arrege. Grace from downtown. Edens with the offensive rebound. And a new shot clock.
Got to find the 7-2 guy and block him out.
Edens posting up.
Davidson going to be very patient when they have the opportunity to be patient.
Ander with the screen. Right now, the Ohio State defense starting to close on all shooters quickly.
Got to make them put the ball on the deck.
Edens, baseline turnaround, draws the foul. So the strength of this Ohio State team is their guards. The strength of this Davidson team is their post players.
It's the ability to get the ball into the post and get it back out.
Some highlights of this opening round of action and also send you out to current activity in the NCAA tournament, all on Singular at the half. Cordell Henry, smallest on the court at about 5'9", hits the free throw, and let's go back to the big man at the other end.
Now 6'10" sophomore from San Antonio, Jack Ingram, just hanging around the perimeter, ready to take that long shot. He'll take him whenever he can get him.
Henry misses the second, but the rebound Blankson and Ingram battling, and it's arrow to Tulsa. So 32-30, the Golden Hurricane with 1:29 to go.
Now, normally Tulsa will stay with their small lineup with Kevin Johnson at 6'7", Charlie Davis at 6'7".
Back in New York, Greg Gumbel, Clark Kellogg, we will be taking you out to more live action in this first round of the NCAA tournament.
CBS Sports presents Singular at the Half, sponsored by Singular, the wireless company that supports self-expression nationwide.
Hi once again, everyone. Welcome back to our studios in New York and to Singular at the Half. Greg Gumbel along with Clark Kellogg at halftime. Florida Atlantic leading Alabama by a score of 40-38, and I think it's fair to say that the Crimson Tide has their hands full.
They certainly do. This Florida Atlantic team has been very aggressive. They've been able to beat Alabama off the dribble, and they've taken advantage of a bunch of turnovers. Here you see Andre Garner having a solid first half, as is freshman point guard Maurice Williams for Alabama.
Sidney Green's bench outscoring the Alabama bench by a score of 19-8. Meanwhile, first round action in the East in St. Louis. Tulsa's Golden Hurricane leading Marquette by a score of 32-30, under 1 minute remaining. in this game, in the first half of this game, and we will take you there in just a bit. But let's show you the highlights of the first half. Tulsa's Antonio Reed with a wide open three-pointer to give the Golden Hurricane a 4-point lead early.
Then Marquette's O'Darte Blankson knocks down a three from the top of the key. This will cut Tulsa's lead to 1. This game has been back and forth the whole time. Dwayne Wade going to anticipate the pass, step in the lane, and he's off and flying.
And speaking of Dwayne Wade, he will finish the break with a lay-in, get the foul as well. The Golden Eagles led by 1 at that point, and this game has been pretty much been nip and tuck all the way from the opening tip. It's a 2-point lead with 42 seconds to play. Let's take you to St. Louis and join Dick Enberg and Matt Gugas.
We're in the final minute here in St. Louis at Edward Jones Dome. 30,000 expected before the conclusion of today's 4 games, and it's Tulsa by 2, 32-30, and the Golden Hurricane with the ball. They've made hay from outside. That's why they're in the lead. They've not shot well inside, but terrific three-point shooting by Tulsa.
Tulsa's about as small as they can get right now with only 6'7" Kevin Johnson on the floor with 4 little guards.
Shooting 6 out of 10 from outside the arc, and the foul on the start of the drive will send Jason Parker to the line. Appeared to be O'Darte Blankson. As you look at the Eastern bracket here being played in the Midwest, that pod system used by the NCAA, and Kentucky winning earlier today. Very impressive over Valparaiso, 83-68. Winner of this game playing Kentucky on Saturday. Parker misses short. Ball comes out to Harrington of Tulsa with 17 seconds left in the half. Swanson to Johnson. Kevin Johnson, Tulsa's leading scorer, has 6 today, averaging 14 on the year. Henry hurries the other way. 3-2. It's blocked by Johnson, and that's the end of the first half. Led by Antonio Reed's outside shooting. He has 11. Wade, the star for Marquette, had 10. And at the break, it's the Golden Hurricane 34, the Golden Eagles 30.
Well, don't tell John Phillips' crew they can't win this game. 34-30. They're leading Marquette right now as they reach halftime. First round game in the Midwest in Sacramento has Pepperdine and Wake Forest tied at 40. They're just underway in the second half at Arco Arena. Let's take you there live and join Ian Eagle and Jim Spanarkel.
17:57 mark. Second half tied at 40. Pepperdine and Wake Forest. The Demon Deacons got off to a quick start. Pepperdine was just searching on the offensive end, but they have chipped away to level this one at 40 apiece.
Well, they really had to work, and it was not pretty throughout the first half, trying to get themselves back into a position to tie this basketball game. The first 3 or 4 minutes of the first half compared to this in the second, totally different basketball teams.
Pepperdine has not led this afternoon. Wake Forest looking to regain the lead. Sungaila inside, and a leaner.
Sungaila has the uncanny ability to stretch his arm out and extend it all the way and then flip the shot. It's a very different type of shot to block. It's giving Seward some problems down low defensively.
He's got a variety of moves on the inside. Johnson a jumper, a 3, and Pepperdine has its first lead of the day, 43-42.
Now let's see how Wake Forest reacts to this right now, because they've been in control pretty much the whole afternoon.
Here's Scott turning. And a foul called. He was rooted out of the post by Seward. That big body, 6'11", 225, Cedric Seward. Second foul.
Pepperdine likes to find the shot from the outside on the perimeter. They've knocked it back at about 37% as a team this year. Good look, good rotation of the basketball right there, and Johnson just strides right into it and knocks it back.
Wasn't pretty getting back into this game.
Not at all.
But it's been effective.
This has really been a workout for Pepperdine to get back into it.
Josh Howard has come in for Wake Forest. Jump shot, Dawson. He knocks it down for 3.
Good delivery, too. Away from the defender coming around the screen, and Dawson with the right-hand shot catches that ball going towards his right. Makes it so much easier to get your shot off. Dawson now 4 of 6 from three-point range. He's got 12 points overall. Miggins get too far underneath the hoop. On a crossover, Miggins gets the roll, and Miggins trying to pump himself up.
He's got 9.
He's got way too much ability to let him dribble 3 or 4 times by himself in the middle of the floor right there. Make too many things happen.
Miggins a first-team all-conference selection in the West Coast Conference. And we are knotted at 45 apiece. Just about 4 minutes elapsed here in the second half.
Pepperdine trying to come out and play the perimeter a little bit more aggressively.
Hicks watched by Montgomery. He was the offensive star for Pepperdine in the first half. Pump fake. Dawson on a stop and go. Off that dribble, a long 2-pointer for Craig Dawson. He's got 14 overall.
That's 43% on the
Singular, the wireless company that supports self-expression nationwide.
Welcome back to our studios in New York, the Singular at the half. I'm Greg Gumbel. Our score at halftime, Tulsa leading Marquette by a score of 34-30. The Golden Eagles and the Golden Hurricane have waged war back and forth all throughout the first half. Meanwhile, in
13 of those 16 in the first half, so he's really been carrying them.
15-17 to go in the second half. Pepperdine with a 48-47 advantage over Wake Forest. They've come all the way back, and they're trading baskets now. Craig Dawson nailing one from the corner. A 3-pointer, and back and forth we go. Wake leads by 2.
Dawson's starting to get close to on fire.
Montgomery, a little too much up. Seward inside, looking for position. High off the window, and he gets the roll.
Some guy was staying right there.
So it's a 50-50 tie. Of course, we will keep you updated as that game progresses. Meanwhile, in Albuquerque, Davidson with a 3-point lead on Ohio State, 7.5 to play in the first half. Thank you for joining us on Singular at the half. We'll send you back to Greenville for the second half of Florida Atlantic and Alabama right after this.
CBS Sports presents Singular at the Half, sponsored by Singular, the wireless company that supports self-expression nationwide.
We're deadlocked at 50, Pepperdine and Wake Forest. And coming up after your local news, stay tuned for the Emmy Award-winning Late Show with David Letterman tonight. U.S. Airmen deliver the top 10 cool things about being in the Air Force. Plus comedian Andy Richter and the CBS mailbag. That's tonight on Dave. Third foul on Darius Sungaila at the 14:38 mark, second half. And a tight one here in Sacramento. Terrence Johnson makes his move, a fadeaway. Doesn't go down, it's rebounded by Davidson.
Tough shot just done by Johnson coming out of the break. A little bit of a force, well defended, had to flip it a little higher than what he wanted.
Hicks finds Howard.
Nice play.
Picked his pocket, Devin Montgomery. Montgomery streaking to the rim for 2.
Interesting how Montgomery can slow the pace of his run down the floor. He got about 15 feet or so away, and then boom, he starts blasting because he gets to an angle and really gets ahead of the defender.
And Montgomery's come on of late. 27 points in the West Coast Conference Championship game against Gonzaga. A losing effort, 96-90.
Be careful of this guy right here. Dawson's been lighting it up from long range.
Pepperdine up by 2. Howard on the dribble, not 100% because of that high ankle sprain. Davidson on a turnaround. The freshman, no. Howard gets inside. Second and third efforts, and he is limping.
Yeah, he came down hobbled because he had to go up 2 times in a row. You may have caught just at the beginning of that play. He swung at it with his left hand and nearly put it in, and then came up volleyball style for 2.
Tied at 52. Jump shot doesn't go for Johnson. Rebound foot 4 and controlled by Scott of Wake Forest.
2 quick looks from the outside by Johnson. You may want to move the ball a little bit, settle down a bit.
Davidson, head and shoulder fake. He got hit by Brazel before the shot. So the personal foul on Boomer Brazel. It's number 2 on him.
There's that little turnaround jump shot. You'll see from the left side. There's the first jump with the left hand. Goes up a second time, Howard, and puts it in. But more importantly, comes out hobbled a bit with that high ankle sprain that he's had.
Trying to get it in. Teron Downey has checked in for Wake Forest.
It's going to go the other way, or is it going to go hold first?
It will be a hold. CBS Sportsline stat of the game. Take a look at 3-point shooting. Get complete tournament coverage at cbs.sportsline.com or on America Online. Enter keyword CBS Sportsline. Jimmy Miggins has picked up his 3rd foul. 5 team fouls on Pepperdine. Dawson off a pump fake. Jumper for 3, no. And it's rebounded by McGowan for the Waves.
Good work just then by Brazel, recognizing Dawson and shooting the basketball.
So Pepperdine and Wake Forest as tight as they can get with 12:50 to play in the second half. Meanwhile, in Albuquerque, let's take a quick check of Davidson and Ohio State. The Wildcats with a 3-point lead on the Buckeyes. Let's take you to the pit and join Gus Johnson and Dan Bone.
6:11 to play in the first half, and Ohio State falling behind Davidson. Davidson shooting an unbelievable percentage, 52%, 21 of 18. And they're holding Ohio State to 32% shooting, Dan.
And the last few minutes, what we've seen from Ohio State is they have wide open looks. The ball just hasn't gone in the basket for them. And as the game goes on, if they continue to miss those shots, they will get tighter and tighter. And there's Pearson with the block shot.
Here comes Davidson.
So the Wildcats continue to hold the lead as they approach halftime in Albuquerque. 21-18, Davidson in the lead. In Greenville, South Carolina, Florida Atlantic and Alabama are tied at 40. Let's take you there and join Kevin Harlan and John Sunvold.
Just starting the second half. Alabama with their sensational freshman Mo Williams hitting a shot which ties the game at 40. Alabama has had some turnover problems today, but they are shooting 51% from the field.
Well, they're getting the shots again. Offensively, they're doing fine. Florida Atlantic wants to bother them, get some steals, convert on the other end. They did that the first half. We'll see if Crimson Tide can do a better job.
Walker on top. Williams again. Met by Smart. Fires in the two.
Tough shot.
A little 4-0 run to begin the second half for Bama. Garner throws it out. That's picked off by Williams, who twirls his way and then feeds the trailing Brizard. And his three won't go.
So Alabama now with the lead, 42-40, plenty of time to play in the second half of that game. Thank you for joining us here in New York on Singular at the half. We'll send you back to St. Louis for the second half of Tulsa and Marquette right after this.
CBS Sports presents Singular at the Half, sponsored by Singular, the wireless company that supports self-expression nationwide.
As Hicks does not get the roll. Roderick Hicks, the most games played in Wake Forest history. He broke the record previously held by Tim Duncan, native of Houston, Texas.
Pretty good academically, too, huh? 3 times ACC All-Academic team. That's what it's all about. Student athlete and getting it done on the floor also.
And he's tied this game at 54. Colbert puts it on the floor. Looking for an opening. Colbert. A jump shot. Rainbow delivery, no. And Pepperdine's going to hold on to it. It'll be Waves basketball when we come back. 54 apiece from Sacramento.
1995, and Florida Atlantic making their tournament debut by winning the A's Sun, the Atlantic Sun Conference.
Good steal. Good read.
Grizzard trying to get to it. Collins the other way by Grizzard.
Pass telegraphed by Mo Williams. Read by Ernest Crumley.
11 Alabama turnovers. Garner's on Williams. Shot clock down to 14. Kenny Walker is screen. Outside. Meade. Oh, a good deceptive fake. A 2-point shot is in. He's got 8.
Well, like Mark Gottfried said when he came out of the halftime, they are scoring. They're doing fine on the offensive end. Can they get stops defensively?
Here's Robert Williams.
And so far, the answer has been no.
He's got 4. Alabama comes the other way. John, they have gone.